Sacred geometry is an important aspect of our reality. And if you don't know about the Platonic solids, or if you have not heard of the Platonic solids, then I would advise you to search these online. You can type in on Google Platonic solids, go on images, and you will see the Platonic solids for yourself. Now, these were invented by Plato, and it's 5 geometric shapes, or 5 shapes that are intrinsic to our existence here as human beings on this planet. Plato is well known amongst historians and those of us who study ancient history regarding our planet. However, why did Plato invent the 5 Platonic solids, and more importantly, why were they so important that they were named after him? Well, there are some interesting facts about the Platonic solids, and the first one I want to tell you about is the dodecahedron. Now, the dodecahedron is one of the 5 Platonic solids. And what's interesting about the dodecahedron is if we take all the ancient monuments and sacred sites around the world and we connect them like we are doing a connect the dot, we will come up with the earth grid, and these are known as ley lines. Now, what's interesting about the earth grid or ley lines is that ultimately they form the shape of a dodecahedron around the earth. And so the story becomes, did Plato include the dodecahedron as one of the 5 Platonic solids because he somehow knew about earth grids and ley lines and the dodecahedron that is formed around the earth because of these? That's an interesting question. And one could question that further by saying, well, who had the technology to even know about earth grids and ley lines back in Plato's day, let alone understand that the dodecahedron is an intrinsic part of the Earth's shape and its energetic vortexes? The places that are higher in vibration are the places where these ancient monuments and sacred sites are found. And so when we actually see the shape of the dodecahedron around the Earth, it's a simple map of places that are higher in energy, higher in frequency, and higher in vibration. Another interesting fact about the Platonic solids is that models were found. I can never quite remember the name of the place, but 5 models were found of the Platonic solids, seeing as though there are 5 shapes. And these models were made out of metal. When archaeologists conducted their research, they stated that these Platonic solids must have been formed 2 billion years ago. What civilization did we have on this planet that had the technology to form models of the Platonic solids out of metal? Our ancient history tells us that this simply isn't the case. Or in fact, what we have been led to believe tells us that there were no advanced humans capable of doing such things here on Earth 2 billion years ago. And yet we have cases like the Law of One, which is a channeled body of work where 6th dimensional beings are contacting Carla Ruckett, telling her that our solar system was fully inhabited 2 billion years ago. And so perhaps we are dealing with a hidden history, a history that has been stripped away from human consciousness. And only now, as we are stepping the ladder of evolution, we are being given this information. We are taking back this information. We are discovering it again. We are doing the archaeological research. We are going out and finding the science so we can match it to spirituality. We are analyzing and studying books like the Law of One. And when we do this, we begin to piece a puzzle together. This puzzle is ultimately the ascension for human beings here on planet Earth.